So I got Focusband, what did we say, 3 weeks ago, and so I've integrated into my practice a lot, and it's made my practice a lot more enjoyable because now when I go to the range, I have my maintenance stuff that I do with my golf swing, what I look for, but I put Focusband on, and it helps me get into a much calmer state, so that I'm almost like curious or aware of what I'm doing. And I'm not searching for an outcome so much, right? So I've got this awareness of what I'm doing. The spatial orientation goes up. I get a much more better feedback to what I'm doing, and it's not so stressful. I'm not trying to get an outcome. All I'm doing is trying to place my awareness where I want it to be, and then get feedback from that. So it's a much more peaceful way of going about learning golf or making changes, and more importantly, also learning about yourself. How am I going to go about this so that I'm in the right state of mind, that even though if I've got my mechanics or my positioning or whatever I'm trying to do on my golf swing correct, I've still got to make that perform. And if I go out into the golf course and I'm thinking about all these things I'm doing on my golf swing, it's much harder, it's much more stressful. But if I go to put Focusband on, create this awareness, create this beautiful state where I'm getting ultimate feedback, I can utilize that, and the outcome is less important, but the ironic part is you get better outcomes. Probably the most simplistic motion in golf is putting. It's a very simple and small motion, but it seems to be the most complicated for a lot of people, including myself at times, when you outthink yourself. There is an outcome that you feel like you should get. You got a 4 or 5 foot putt. If the putt went in, it's the outcome you want. If it misses, it's not. So there seems to be more stress on that, and you strive for that outcome. The more you strive for that outcome, the more difficult sometimes it can become because you get in your own way. So Focusband, integrating that for me, and this is from my perspective, it's allowed me to get past the outcome. Right? I'm now looking at my putt, and I'm utilizing the feedback from Focusband, getting to a state of motion, and then quiet eye, without trying to do that, but I'm focusing on the awareness of seeing this ball, and I'm now putting with pictures and awareness and sensations rather than thought process. So now I'm picturing this ball as it goes down along the track, and I see that the line is a track rather than a track. It goes down, follows it, and then into the hole and through the hole. And then as I get back, I'm able to run that loop back to myself, and that's what I'm creating with my imagery and my sensations. And now all I'm doing is now paying attention to the awareness of that, and that's all I'm doing. So the outcome of whether the putt goes in or not is secondary to this process of what I'm doing, because it's an enjoyable process. It's definitely not stressful. In fact, it's pleasing, rather than standing here trying to make a 4 or 5 footer. Like the only positive outcome here is if I make it. In this case, there's a lot of reasons why you can make and miss a putt, and a lot of that's out of your control. But this process is in your control. So it makes putting a pleasant challenge and wonderful feedback that you're getting from that, rather than this thing that I have to get this forced outcome. So it's much more relaxing, and it's a beautiful place to be when you're playing golf, when you get into that awareness space. What I do is I put it on, and I create a state, and that's giving me, through the state of motion, I got that on my phone, and so I've got a feedback device which is on my phone, which is an app, and this is collecting the brain waves, and it's telling me, am I in a heightened state, am I thinking too much, or am I in more of a relaxed state where the vibrations and the frequency are different. So it's picking that up, and it's giving me the feedback that now I'm in the right state that I need to be in order to create a high level of awareness. Right? Again, we're not trying to create the state just to make more putts. We're doing just creating a high level of awareness. And so it's made me conscious of, at first, was like, oh, geez, I'm all over the place here with my thinking. But it's a great thing, right? That's feedback. That's what we want. And now I've got my routine. It now actually is not necessarily about making a putt, but getting into the state and maintaining that state through the whole putt. So my routine, it's given me an accurate way of measuring, am I in the right place mentally and emotionally and awareness level through the entire process. And if I can do that, then that's a win. And if the putt misses, the outside world goes, oh, well, he missed the putt. But to me, I was where I wanted to be. So this feedback it makes golf like it's supposed to be. We all play this game originally because it's fun, but the stress of trying to perform, whether you're professional or an amateur, you always want to get better, sometimes takes that fun out of it, and I only can have fun if I play well or I get an outcome. This takes that away to some degree, to where you're now into the moment of the process of what's going on, and you're fully aware or engaged in that process. So there's an immersion that takes place, and that the routine that I've developed just naturally from using Focusband, not a forced routine of X amount of practice strokes. It's just a routine that raises that level of awareness and keeps me engaged in the moment rather than all over the place mentally of making or missing or trying to concentrate on my stroke. Yes, I'm wearing it. I have it on right now. So it's just the band. It goes on my head, and now this is getting all the feedback from the frequency of the brainwave patterns. And I just put it underneath my hat. I wear a size a little bit larger, and I just put that on underneath. People don't really know that it's on. So now I'm talking to you, so it's giving me feedback. I'm all the way over here on my left side of my brain, and now it's switching over to the right side. So I'm into a nice state. You can see between the green and the red, and it has the noise on it. There we go. See, beautiful. I'm paying attention. Quiet eye. I'm in a great state. This is a great interview for me.